Growing Up Out There is powered by Interlock broadheads, deadly by design.
Watch it happen, the future's on. Just imagine what's next to come. Never stop learning, never stop dreaming, never stop, go for it. Always look forward, always find meaning, always go for it. Get moving, get moving. It'll be my good luck charm and a bug will walk in today.
Growing Up Out There is influenced by Wildlife. Influence your legacy. Excalibur crossbows. Lumina. Light 'em up. Mike's Archery. Umarex air guns. EMS bow fishing. Black Widow deer lures. Scent Thief. Outdoor Edge knives and tools. Growing Up Out There is proud to support these great partners.
This week, Dad's in Kentucky chasing whitetails. Let's see if he can get the job done in our lease in central Kentucky.
Each year, many of us flock to our farms, leases, or even public grounds in quest of a trophy. Now that trophy could be a doe, a spike, maybe even a giant buck. The trophy is in the eyes of the person pulling the trigger. No matter the size of his or her trophy, the amount of time or effort it takes to harvest this animal is what makes hunting fun and rewarding while you're out there.
I love Kentucky. Been going there for several years. Started off with Dennis Redden, who's my good buddy, hunting some of his properties. And through that, I met Jeremy Bledsoe, the operations manager for Kentucky Speedway. This led into some big things. Actually, Kentucky Speedway became a partner of the show. We set up our display each and every year at the Kentucky Speedway at Quaker State 400 and have just had a great relationship with these guys over the past few years. The hunting at Kentucky Speedway is second to nowhere. I've shot one of my biggest bucks to date with that 150-inch 8-point called the Finish Line a couple years ago. And each and every year we just have so much fun there. We've implemented the youth deer season hunt there, where we brought in some partners, kids, and things of that nature to come in and enjoy the sport and also share in the excitement that Kentucky Speedway has to offer. Through this, I've gotten my own lease, our first Kentucky lease. The Blind Turtle and I have went together, Kurt and I have gone together on this 70-acre piece that I was super excited about.
All right, it looks like we got some great dirt in here where we're turning it over. We had the pH tested, and we know that this is good dirt. Normally we'd come in and spray ahead of time. As it is, this is the only chance we had to get down to this lease, and we wanted to make sure that we at least got some seed in the ground. This triple advantage will grow good even if we don't get to spray the ground beforehand. We're tearing this dirt up. We're gonna put some seed down here. We actually have bedding. You can see back here, and we have bedding over here. Hopefully, if we come down to hunt for a few days and we have a messed up wind that we can't hunt where we really intend to hunt, we're gonna be able to hunt this spot so that we're not just wasting our time. We're gonna set a blind turtle in here, and we're gonna bring in some triple advantage, both mineral and the attractant, and hopefully this will be a good spot if we can't hunt our intended spot. It's always good to have a backup plan or a plan B, and hopefully this plan B will pay off for one of us this year.
Because this farm is so far from all of our homes, we had one day to kind of get a lot of things done. So we kind of cut some corners on some things with the food plots, but we made it work, we made it happen, and the JD equipment did the job, and thanks to Kurt and Chad, I was ready for the fall.
When it comes to lighted nocks, no one beats the original Lumina. Luminoc pioneered the lighted arrow nock category, from crossbows to compounds, deer, turkeys to targets. Luminocs have been lighting the path of archers everywhere. Trust the brand that has sold over 7 million nocks, all made in the USA. Light them up with Luminoc.
Well, I went to Kentucky Speedway for the youth hunt, and we had a great time. All the kids shot deer. It was great passing on that tradition that we were trying to do and teaching them the heritage and giving them an opportunity to have fun at a deer camp setting unlike any other, being around that Kentucky Speedway. As I mentioned, each kid shot a deer, had fun, but Cadence, my buddy's daughter, didn't have an opportunity to hunt this year. So after the youth hunt, I decided to stay another week to hunt the lease. So I gave her dad one of my cameras and said, here's Cameron's crossbow. You guys go have fun. I'm gonna head to the lease.
I'm here at the Kentucky Speedway. Wait, what was it? I always forget the next part. I'm here at the Kentucky Speedway. It's crossbow season. We've got some good pictures on. I'm gonna try to shoot one before it gets dark. I've never killed one with a crossbow.
Cadence is hunting with her dad, and they have a lot of deer in the area. Let's just hope one gets close enough for her to get a shot. Oh yeah, Cadence, pick one out and let the interlock fly.
I'm here at the Speedway. I just shot a deer. I want to see if I killed it or not.
We're going to look for the arrow?
Yeah.
All right. We're following you, hon.
Okay.
By the looks of that bolt, she won't be far.
She passed up a little buck, and she's wanting a bigger one, but settled for a doe for tonight. Some meat. It's the first time she ever shot the crossbow and nailed it.
If you plan it, they will come. I'm a firm believer in that. I don't care if you put in a 10-foot by 10-foot kill plot in the middle of the woods. If it's green and fresh and luscious, the deer will come to it. If you put a corn pile out, whatever you believe in, that your states allow you to do this. If you can put a little bit of time and effort into something to bring the deer to you, could just be a watering hole. I'm a firm believer that this is gonna pay off in the long run. Does it make a difference? Absolutely. When you put the time in and you build it, they will come. Having the blind turtles on our farms is very important also. It provides great concealment, it provides an opportunity for comfort, and it's great for the kids as well too. So we plan on doing a lot of things in the future here on our lease with the kids in youth season, but for now, it's gonna be an opportunity for me to just jump in the blind and see if I can make things happen.
Oftentimes I hear people ask me for a bigger window in our blind turtle. Well, here's the answer. It's the XXL window from the blind turtle. This does not have the hard window in it. This just has shoot-through mesh that we've kind of cut out, manipulated so that it'll be perfect for this setup. But we do offer a hard Lexan window that goes in here as well. This blind makes it ideal to shoot either a recurve or a longbow or a compound out of the blind turtle. I think it's going to be a good place for him or one of us to try to kill a good buck here in a couple weeks. Yeah.
Well, I couldn't wait to finally get in a blind. Everything was good. We had a lot of trail cam pictures of some really good deer. One nice tall 8-point that I was gonna target seemed to be in there a lot. We didn't have the right wind for the food plot, but we were pretty sure if we got over onto the into that blind that they tucked up in the woods that I could probably get one to stop in front of the kill zone to see if I couldn't make a shot.
Warmed up a little bit. My first day here at Kentucky. This is our lease, and you know, it's October, and anything's possible. It was cool there for a couple days. Deer really on their feet. I was checking cameras. Got a couple pretty good deer here on this farm. One in particular, 8-point, real tall, that I probably shoot. So Kurt's got the blind turtle set up for me down here. It's a one window, and it's at the right spot, I'm sure. So we'll see what happens tonight, but I'm gonna get settled in that blind turtle and see if I can't rule the woods here my first night in Kentucky. Hopefully, I can rule the woods here, baby. All right. I'll tell you what, it's a little warmer than I thought. Just got in here to the blind turtle, and we had this cold front come through and it's been cool, but now all of a sudden the sun's out. I've had a lot of success my first time in on a spot, and this is my first time here in Kentucky.
Well, the first thing to pop out was a raccoon and a little buck, just a little scrub buck, but it was great. I was like, that's the first deer on the lease, and for you guys to have your first properties, you understand that it was really cool to just say, like, all right, there's a deer here.
Hey, down there messing around with that little buck. We had a little buck come in for a couple of minutes, hanging around. Ate some of the attractants from Triple Advantage. Just walked off. Now we got a coon and a possum. And that possum just seen something he didn't like. Oh, I know why. Here comes a good deer.
Well, I look to my left, and there comes the rack. It's the tall 8-pointer. I'm like, you know what? My heart's pounding, it's racing, I'm excited. I'm gonna shoot this deer. It looked like a good shot. I had to rely on the EXP to do its job. I wasn't too worried.
I think I heard him crash. Yes, baby. First time in here, Kentucky. That's that 8-point we had coming in. Is not a super monster. Thank you, Kurt Fell, for putting the blind turtle in the right spot. We've only had this lease for a couple of months. We haven't even really walked the whole property. We came in here, found this one spot that we really liked, what he really liked. I don't know if he came in because of the grunting, but plenty of daylight left. Great footage. Sorry I bumped the camera. We didn't have time to mess with it. After I bumped it, we knew it was off center a little bit, but I went ahead and left her fly.
Well, walk out of the blind and go down there. There's the Lumina. Everything's covered in blood, bubbly blood. No doubt, ain't gonna give him no time. He's not gonna be far.
All covered in blood, baby. Looked like it was a little high and back, but shooting down out of that blind turtle on an angle like that, pretty sure he's dead. I thought I heard him crash over there, but hair was coated in blood, Luminoc lit up, and most important part, that EXP looks brand spanking new. Super cool. He's a big deer. Well, we've got a bunch of pictures of. I told Kurt if he comes in, I'm going to shoot him. That's a Corey deer, and when he come around that turn down there, my heart was pounding, and I was like, I'm gonna kill this deer. I drew back, and we're shooting out of that one window blind turtle, and it made it real difficult with us in there to shoot around that camera, and I was scared to move where I needed to be, and when I drew back, I bumped this camera, and it still was framed up pretty decent, and I cut her loose, wheeled around, and ran down the trail here, but I'm pretty sure I heard him fall over. I just ruled the woods here, I'm pretty sure, in Kentucky on my lease, my first ever lease, and thank you, Kurt Fell, for coming down and setting it up. It's your turn, buddy. Let's go find my deer.
Sure enough, I go about 40 yards and I see the belly, I see the rack, and the excitement just kind of went over me. It was a great deal.
Man, that was super cool. What an awesome deer here, Kentucky. It looked like it was high and back when I shot. I nicked the side of that camera when I had shot. And shooting out that one window blind turtle filming, it was a little tough for me, but we got it done. Got an awesome deer here. First night in on the lease. That's usually first night in Illinois, and my first day hunting here in Kentucky. I just ruled the woods here in Kentucky on this great 8-point.
Well, there again, I just can't say enough about Kentucky. To roll in for youth season, do what we did, and then Cadence and I go out on our first trip. She's hunting the Kentucky Speedway property, shoots a deer. I go over and shoot a nice buck on the lease. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Jeremy and Steve and Travis, for all you do. Awesome time in Kentucky.
Kentucky, first day out on the lease hunting. I couldn't be more proud of this buck.
Just a nice 8-point. You know, it was gonna be pretty hard to top last year with that 150-inch 8-point, but this Kentucky trip was successful, not because we all tagged out, but because there was so many smiles, so many memories made. That's what hunting's about. I say this on every episode. I don't care about the size. Some of you are gonna look at this deer that I shot on the lease and say, why in the world did you shoot that? If you got this new lease, you should have let that deer go. You're probably right. But when that deer come in, all the hard work Chad and Kurt did, and the time that I spend on the road thinking about it, when I see those antlers coming, I tend to get excited. And I guess a little bit of buck fever sets in, and that's what hunting is all about. Watching that deer run off, seeing that Lumina go through the deer, running that hunt through my mind for years down the road is what a successful hunt is to me. But on my leases and on my farm, I have one rule. If it makes you happy, shoot the deer.
Growing up out there is influenced by wildlife. Influence your legacy. Excalibur crossbows. Lumina, light 'em up. Mike's Archery. Umarex air guns. EMS bow fishing. Black Widow deer lures. Scent Thief. Outdoor Edge knives and tools. Growing up out there is proud to support these great partners.
To learn more about growing up out there,
Head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and website.